Hey everybody, this week we're going to go through our October wrap up. What did Too Loud, Too Old Music add to the collection? We've got we got vinyl and we got a whole stack. And this is just part of it, a whole stack of CDs to get through. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, it's the Snowman with TooLoudTooOldMusic.com. Welcome back to the collection. This week we're going to go through what we added to the collection in October of 2025. And we went a little nuts on the CDs. Um, got a good number of albums and a big old box set, which I showed off last week. And as always, we start with rock candy. And this time we found a couple more Loverboy. So we have Lovin' Every Minute of It. This was like a big album when I was in high school. It sounds really, really great. They do a great job on them. So really liking the Loverboy ones. And I needed another one, and I found Keep It Up. So that is two. So it gives me four now of the Loverboy. I think I have one more I need to get, and I will have all of their first five albums on the Rock Candy edition. So that's always great. Love to do all that. And then I'm always follow up the Rock Candy with something Kiss related. And as you can see, I have the new Dress to Kill shirt, which came with the big box set for Dress to Kill, the 50th anniversary Super Deluxe edition. I went through that last week in detail, everything. So go find that one. I'll give that one a watch. That one was probably my most popular post I've ever done. So go check it out. Hopefully you'll like it. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and I talk about the music as well. So definitely worth checking that. And I love the t-shirt. The t-shirt's awesome. Um, get all of them in there. There's Peter. Um, the timing was great because we just lost Ace, so it was nice to get this and just, I don't know, kind of honor him in a way. So really great stuff. All right, then I got a whole bunch of new releases that came out. One of the first things I got is this wonderful book, The Sound That Haunts You, a beginner's guide or a beginner's companion to Fleetwood Mac, by my buddy Tim Derling. So it goes through and he gives his thoughts on all their albums. So really great. I haven't had a chance to get through it yet, but I love it. Fleetwood Mac's one of those bands I've always wanted to explore a little more. I have the box sets like from the early era and then the second box set that they put out. So I have most of their albums. So I think maybe play them as I go through them. So as I'm reading the book, maybe have that on playing. I think that would be great to do. So, so that was a book, good book. Get it at Amazon. Tim Derling, The Sound That Haunts You, A Beginner's Companion to Fleetwood Mac. So need to go that one. And Tim is very influential in my buying lately, and because he has a YNT book, and then I just got this YNT live at Sherwood Hall, Salinas, California, October 1st, 1983. So really awesome live CD. It's not a very long one, only 9 tracks, but really great live show. Dave Manichetti, I think that's how you say it. Sounds great. They're in their prime in '83. They're really killing it then. So it's a good little live album. And speaking of live album, Sammy Hagar and his and the Best of Both Worlds band. This was the residency they did out in Vegas. They mostly did Van Halen songs, but there are some Sammy songs in there. It is a nice little trifold, um, single CD, and then there's that picture as well. This thing is great. There's a new song that opens it up that Sammy wrote for the residency. I really love the fact you get 5150 on here, Humans Being Live, Best of Both Worlds is great, Mas Tequila, you know, just some really, really great songs. Pound Cake, A Talk About Love, if you like Van Halen, you like Sammy Hagar, you're gonna love that one. It's really, really great. Um, all right, another new album I got was John 5, and this is his new album, Ghost. It's autographed by John. I love when that can happen. So, instrumental, if you haven't heard John 5 before, it's all instrumental guitar work, and he makes that guitar sing throughout the thing. There's always a little kind of country bluegrass kind of song on there, which is always great, and a couple of them that are just heavy as all get out. So, not real thrilled with the stuff Motley Crue's putting out, but John 5 on his own is phenomenal. So, all right. Another album I got this month was 38 Special Milestone. If you want to see my review on this, it's not out yet, but it's coming out in a couple weeks. I was on Tim Derling, speaking of Tim Derling, and his show, and we went through and talked this album, which I'll go ahead and tell you, it's worth getting if you like 38 Special. It's a great, great album. But we'll go into a lot more detail, song by song on that one. All right. Then next we got Bon Jovi. So this is Forever. This is the Legendary Edition. So last year they put out the album Forever. John got a whole bunch of people wanting to cover the songs. So instead of doing covers, he did a whole album with duets with a lot of great people. I'm actually going to review this in detail next week. So I'm not going to show you any more on that one. We're going to talk about Forever, and then we're going to talk about Forever Legendary Edition. So coming next week, you can check that out. All right, Scorpions put out a greatest hits comp celebrating 60 years of the Scorpions from the first Sting. So this is just a single disc set. Um, so you don't get a whole ton of songs. You do get a nice variety. They do spend a lot of time in the 70s with those songs, which I love, the early Scorpions. And then you get a couple newer songs. Nothing new on here, but maybe a couple live versions that you might not have. So this is my song, which was live from 1973. And then there's a live song on here for Still Loving You from 1996. So you probably don't have those. But everything else, you will have studio albums that. So Scorpions, like Bon Jovi, are one of those bands. I buy the vinyl as well. And this one comes with a patch, which is kind of cool. So that is the Scorpions. Um, and it's, a decent um, live album. All right. I mean, not live album, compilation. So with some live tracks. All right. Then discovered I needed a whole bunch of Jeff Scott Soto stuff. So I've been kind of buying them in bulk, it seems like. This is Talisman album Life, which I have. However, the one I have is a completely different mix. The Japanese mix was a little bit different. This is the Japanese edition. It didn't have an Obi strip, which I'm sad, but it's okay. So I want to compare this one to Life, the version I have, and look at the difference or listen to the difference in the mix and see how much it's changed. And then I found this one from Talisman. It's called Vaults. It's a 2 CD set. Oops. So it's two CDs, no booklet or anything, but they're mostly demos and single versions. So you get like the first 6 or 7 tracks or Jeff Scott Soto, and then the rest are different singers that Marcel Jacobs worked with when Jeff wasn't available, and they did demos. But I mean, honestly, their versions are great, but you can definitely hear a difference when Jeff sings and when anybody else does. You know why Talisman has Soto in it and not the other guys, but it's still really, really cool. Another Soto thing that I realized I was missing, and that is Yngwie Malmsteen Inspiration. This is the Japanese edition. So this is a covers album, and Jeff does 3 songs on it. And then he has other singers as well, but I bought it for Jeff because I didn't have those 3 songs with Soto on it. Then something else that had Soto on it that I did not know about until recently, another Japanese edition. This is a band called Octavision. It is mostly instrumental, prog style music, and Jeff on vocals for two of the. There's only 8 tracks, I believe, and two of the tracks have vocals, and those are both Jeff Scott Soto. So he is the only singer on this. It's Octavision's Coexist. All right, if that wasn't enough Soto, I have this special release here. This is Shakespeare Macbeth rock opera featuring Jeff Scott Soto. It's a 2 disc set of a rock opera that is done by Greg Sharon, John Betancourt. And if you know Sharon and Betancourt, the guys from Extreme, these are their brothers, Greg and John. And then it's got Robert Clapp as well. Jeff Scott Soto plays Macbeth. Man, what a powerful voice. The other voices on here, the other singers and stuff that play the other parts, they're good. But Soto, man, sometimes I think he's in another league than other people. But this is not available for sale. Greg Sharon was nice enough to send me a copy for something I'm working on, and I really appreciated that. I've been listening to it. It is 2 CDs of a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So I'm taking my time with it and trying to, when I have a solid 2 hours that I can just sit and listen, I take that and trying to digest it all because it's been fun kind of going through and knowing the Macbeth story and picking out the songs that are the flow of the story. And the second half of the album is where it gets really exciting and stuff. So really cool stuff. All right. Then I say I hit a bunch of places this week or this month. I got a thrift shop stuff, couple big online orders, and then a big sale at Noble that I was able to get a whole bunch of stuff. So this first batch came from I think it's Phil's Music Exchange in Wilson, North Carolina. He's on Facebook posting, and I've been buying something from him for every month for like the last 4 or 5 months. But I buy enough to make the shipping worthwhile and stuff. And so the first one we have is Steelheart's second album, Tangled in Rains. And man, I just love these guys. The first album was great. This one is just a good. Loaded Mother, Sticky Side Up is so fun. Mama Don't You Cry at the end is really cool. Just more great 80s, early 90s hard rock. Speaking of that kind of music, there's a lot of that in this group. This is Blue Murder's second album, Nothing But Trouble. John Sykes' and second album that they did with the band. Mike Frazier, I believe, mixed and just another. It's not as good as the first one, but it is still really killer. I really like the opening track, "We All Fall Down." "Cry for Love" is great. There's just a Love Child. Man, just a lot of really good songs on this one. So that's the Blue Murder second one. Then I have Trickster. And I want to say this is their second, but I can't remember exactly. This is Here, and I really like Trickster. Just really getting into them. I think I knew a couple songs, but I've been trying to buy their stuff, and I'm still digesting this one. But it's really good. Might even be better than the first one. But that's just my opinion. And then there was a cheesy ass movie from the 80s that was like a Top Gun ripoff, but I loved the soundtrack. And the soundtrack is for Iron Eagle. It is a great rock and roll soundtrack. And it is a little timely because on it is King Cobra, who we just lost, Marcy Free. She passed away just recently. So I was really glad I picked this up. And then it's got Eric Martin, it's got Queen, Dio, Helix, just a lot of great rock and roll bands from the 80s. So just a killer soundtrack. And then more stuff. We get Mr. Big, Bump Ahead. I am just going nuts buying their stuff. I've been trying to get it all. I got a long way to go, but I bought a bunch over the last few months and I really love Eric Martin's voice. And that's why I'm kind of going crazy buying that stuff. All right, we also have I found some Pink Cream 69, the German band. These are the ones that are before David Redman. So I've got this one, which is just Pink Cream 69, and then One Size Fits All is this one. So this is, I think, the second album. Um, Again, these are European releases from Germany. They're because they were a German band. And I like David Redman's version of the band as him as singer, but these first two are really awesome as well. I'd like to get all of Pink Cream 69 because I really dig what they have to offer. And these I blink are like from like 1989, 1991 or 90. Yeah, so 89, 91. So these are from the same hairband kind of area as well. All right, a little more modern. We have Jakey Lee's Red Dragon Cartel. This is the Best Buy version with a bonus track. Um, Man, there's so many good. I love Shout It Out. It's probably my favorite song on the album. I did a little post on that song. So I have that one. And then Phil's Music Exchange also had Patina. So I bought that one as well. I don't know if this one's as strong as the debut. The debut just kicks some massive ass. This one is pretty good though. I do like this one too. But I just think that first one, man, just something about it was really, really killer. It wasn't the only Sammy album I bought this month. I also got Sammy and the Wabos live Hallelujah. Um, Another great album. And it's a whole bunch of different songs that aren't on the other one. So, but it does have Rock Candy, which is killer. Has a few Van Halen, but it's mostly a Sammy Hagar album with his stuff. So another great. And then for those, we're gonna have a whole bunch of Night Ranger to go through in just a second. But before that, I found Jack Blade's solo album. Really cool album. Very different from Night Ranger, which is really what a solo album should be. Should be different than the main band that you're in. And so, yeah, really glad to have that one as I'm on a Night Ranger kick as well. And we'll get to the Night Ranger first. All right, this next batch of CDs is from a thrift shop. Now, when it comes to thrift shops, I'm willing to buy whatever because it's usually a buck or less. Um, and so we're gonna some things you might not expect, like Christina Aguilera. This is a two CD set called Back to Basics. Really some cool stuff on that. Um, Makes me want to pray back in the day. Ain't No Other Man. I think most people would know that one. Still Dirty. Just, she's just got such an amazing, amazing vocal range, and she's phenomenal. So, then I bought a Sting album. This is Brand New Day. So a couple songs on here are already new, so I figured out why not. Very slow, so you gotta be in the mood for very slow Sting because it's not like the Police at all. So I definitely have to be in the mood for that one. And then I got a couple Sugarland albums. This one is Enjoy the Ride, and then this one is Twice the Speed of Life. So both of those, Sugarland's country band. I really like Jennifer Nettles and her voice, just such a beautiful voice. And so I thought I'd pick those up, and I've enjoyed those quite a bit. Then this weird one that I got, Bon Jovi, The Many Faces of Bon Jovi. It's a three CD set. Um, the first CD is pretty much John Bon Jovi, uh, so early stuff before Bon Jovi. Disc two is Richie Sambora and Bruce Foster, the Shark Frenzy years. So again, before Bon Jovi. And I think out of those, I think Richie sings at least one of the songs, but plays guitar on all the others. And then disc three is a covers album of artists covering Bon Jovi songs. But most of these people, I don't think you're even going to know who they are. So yeah, for a buck, what the hell? And then I realized I didn't have this one of the best greatest hits albums out there, the Steve Miller Band. Greatest hits 1974 to 78. Gives you Swing Town, Jungle Love, Joker, Fly Like an Eagle, Jet Airliner. I mean, gives you all the classic Steve Miller songs. Um, and then I figured out, what the hell? Why not I try this one? A Dave Matthews Band, Crash. and I kind of like it. So I might have to get some more Dave Matthews because it's got Crash Into Me, which I knew. Um, it's just, it's maybe I'm mellowing in my age. I kind of like it. Then I found the debut album for Three Doors Down, Better Life. Didn't realize I did not have this. Uh, and it's fantastic. And this one has like three bonus tracks as well. So always love to get a CD with bonus tracks, and still pay only $1. Then the last one I got at the thrift shop was Bo Bice, the real thing. He was from American Idol, one of the first couple years, and I like his voice. It's kind of like a southern rock kind of sound. So figured out I picked that one up, and I've enjoyed that a lot. All right, then there was somebody I found on Discogs, and I noticed he had some Night Ranger albums. And when I say he had some Night Ranger albums, he had a few, you know. So we're gonna just talk through those really, really quick. We have the best of Night Ranger live, and most of these live albums they have that are on these little things, they're like from Japan and stuff, or the recordings from Japan. So what's really cool about this one, it's got Neverland, and they even do Touch of Madness and My Elusive Mind. So the CD was 2005, but the show must have been somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s. Just some really stuff that you're not used to hearing live. This one's got some really good deep cuts on there. And then we've got another one that's hits acoustics and rarity. Same kind of thing. Just a collection of some acoustic songs and just some rare songs that they do. You get a Sister Christian acoustic version. But you got Sing Me Away, Sister Christian, regular version, Sentimental Street. Just a nice little collection. Then, the Icon collections are great. Always a good set of songs on there. And that's what this is, the Icon. Um, of course, Rumors in the Air, Four in the Morning, Secret of My Success. So, all the early hits from the band. And then speaking of early, here's one of their albums that I didn't have on CD. Got it on vinyl, just didn't have it on CD. And this is Big Life. This is one that with Secret of My Success from the movie. But it's got Big Life, Color of Your Smile, Rain Comes Crashing Down, one of my favorite songs by them. And then the killer ballad Hearts Away is on that one as well. Then there was another album that I was in no rush to get, but you got to have it to complete the collection. This is Hole in the Sun. Might be I was going to say when I first bought this, it was like this was my least favorite album. But I'm going to be honest with you, when I played this, it wasn't as bad as I remember. I actually have maybe come around and I think I kind of like this one now. So maybe now they have not made a bad album. Where before I would have said that would have been it, but yeah, it's not too bad. Then here's a very misleading one. This is Night Ranger. It's called Extended Versions. When I saw this and saw extended versions, I thought they were going to be extended versions of all their songs, like 12-inch mixes or something like that. But no, this is all live music. So these are all live songs. So I was really completely unexpected from that, but good unexpected because, Night Ranger doesn't do a bad album. And then there's this bargain basement little greatest hits, just Night Ranger. Really different because it opens this way, and there's the CD. But it's just there's 12 songs. They're basic standard hits. Well, I mean later because it's got Neverland and Forever All Over Again. So Slap Like Being Born. So it's got up to maybe at least seven, album seven or whatever. That's actually their eighth album, but that's another story. So that's all the Night Ranger, a whole bunch. Not enough to do a Night Ranger show because I still have a bunch more over there. All right, this last batch is from Noble Records. He was having a big sixth anniversary sale and he had a bunch of CDs. So I figured, what the hell? I'm going to go through and grab a whole bunch of stuff, which is what I did. Some of the dollar ones is Counting Crows, Hard Candy. I didn't have this one, never heard it, and enjoyed that one. Five for Fighting. I really, when this came out, was it John? I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but there's a couple songs on here that I really, really like. So I bought it for $1. It's not as great as I remember, but the songs I liked, definitely. are awesome and worth a listen. All right. Found a Sweet and Lynch. This one is unified. So Michael Sweet and George Lynch together again. I don't know if this was their first or second album. They've got like three or four Sweet and Lynch albums. I'm trying to get them all because I'm on a Michael Sweet kick as well. And then as far as Mr. Big, I've mentioned them before. We have the debut. This is just freaking killer album. Addicted to That Rush opens it up. Wind Me Up. Blame It on My Youth. I mean, I'm just sorry. 30 Days in the Hole. Just really killer stuff. And that's the bonus track on here is 30 Days in the Hole. They also had a Mr. Big Greatest Hits. So if I just want to do the really popular songs, then I've got this now to throw on and enjoy. So like I said, I'm really digging Mr. Big lately. All right. Then I found this one here, XYZ, the debut, I think last month. I found Hungry. And so would you know it? I got next one the next month. So really excited to get this one. This is my favorite. I have this one on vinyl as well. Um, so yeah, really great band. Oh, here's another one that I had for $1. This is Madonna. Greatest Hits Volume 2. It's excellent. It's Madonna. Um, back in those days, she could do no wrong. All right, then he had the very best of Winger. I didn't have that one in the collection, so now I do. Um, it fit because it's probably I'm focused on the studio albums and just hadn't picked that one up. Another album I was missing on CD, and that was Motley Crue's Generation Swine. Not their best album, but honestly, there's some stuff on here. I like Afraid. I like Glitter. And there's a few other songs. I'm not really a big fan of the Shout at the Devil 97. The original's better, but I know. I still like Crew. Then there's a couple that before I get that, we'll go to this last 80s, not early 90s band, Nelson. This is the debut After the Rain, classic 80s band, early 90s, late 80s band sound. Um, Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection, After the Rain, Only Time Will Tell. Just these guys got great harmonies and do a good job. But the two I were really excited about, and these things just kick butt. Winery Dogs, this is the debut. I did not have that one. I have a couple others of theirs. I just didn't have this one. And then I didn't have the album Hot Streak. So it's Mike Portnoy, Richie Kotzen, and Billy Sheehan on bass. You can't go wrong with these guys. And the 3.99 is misleading because I think anything was 4.99 or less, you could buy three, got one, get one free kind of thing. And so that's why I bought so many. All right, that is all the CDs, but that's not all. So we have some albums as well. So this particular one we'll start off with is called Granicus. I'm not really sure if I said that right. It's a Noble Record exclusive, early 70s rock. The vinyl's not in here. The vinyl's actually on my turntable. It's an exclusive yellow red, limited 300 copies, and I have my copy. Uh, I think I have every single one of Noble's exclusives. So that was it. Now, he also had a big sale on vinyl as well, and I picked up a whole bunch of little things. Missing Persons. This is Rhyme and Reason. Del Bazio. Bose, is that right? I think that's it. Just there's the whole band right there. Love her voice. They were just cool. New wave band from the early 80s. And they also had, and I don't know which is the right way, but I think it's this way, another Missing Persons album that I didn't have. I have the ones with Destination Unknown and stuff, but this is Color in Your Life. Um, so I don't think I've ever heard this one until I bought this, and I love Missing Persons. Just a lot of fun. And then they had something I had no idea. I've never seen it on vinyl. I probably knew it was on vinyl, but I'd never seen it. And it was Pat Benatar's Best Shots. So it's her greatest hits album on vinyl. It is in great shape. So it's an original pressing from back in the day. Just phenomenal shape. Sounds fantastic. And I love Pat Benatar. So Really happy to have that one. And then I have a gold stamp promo of Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. And then the gold stamp is right up here. Let's see, can we see it? So there's the gold stamp right there. I don't know. I like promos because they're limited a little bit, really, and just kind of neat to think maybe a radio station had that and played it, and it's in phenomenal shape as well. Uh, then the last set of albums, all from Adamant. This one's Strip, probably my one of my least favorite Adamant albums, but has a few good songs on here that I do like. Puss in Boots and the song Strip. Um, but I've been collecting Adamant stuff because I like most of it. And again, new wave kind of stuff. Here's one of the killer ones. Kings of the Wild Frontier, Adam and the Ants. This one is a classic. Just love this one. This is 1980 when this came out. Has Dog Eat Dog, Ant Music, one of my favorite songs of his of all time. King of the Wild Frontier, Los Rancheros. Just a killer album if you like new wave music, not new age music. That's a little different. And then another early album from him. This is a reissue though, because the original album came out in 1979. This is Dirk Wears White Socks. This is a 1983 reissue, and I think they reissued it because what is the one album that had Goody Two Shoes on there and stuff? That was starting to really break in America, and so they probably reissued this for that purpose. And so that is Adam and the Ants. And that I think that's everything. That's a lot. So it was a really good month. I've still got to get through some of it because I'll stick something in and listen to it for a while. But so hit like, click subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Thanks again for watching. And next week we're gonna do the Bon Jovi Forever album. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And then we'll see you next time on the collection.